check. Yep, loud and clear.
Welcome to Backseat Drivers Podcast. I'm Mar, and this is Alan, and we are here to talk to you about Chinese Grand Prix today. We saw a lot of things happen today, and a lot of them were eye-opening, and some of them were a little bit concerning. So, what do you got for us today, Alan?
The first thing that I want to jump into right away is Kimi. Antonelli wins the Shanghai GP, and kind of a little bit of a surprise because it makes us wonder, the car's a rocket, right? We both agree that the car is crazy fast.
Yeah.
Just about anyone you put into that car can win a Grand Prix. But we were both discussing before that it kind of it taints it a little bit for someone who's a true fan, because you're like, well, without the quali hiccup that George had, would he have been able to make it P1 and then hold Kimi back in between all of the Ferraris and stuff? Because experience at this point, I think, matters too. I think when Kimi is in the pack with all of the heavy hitters, he kind of gets lost in there, nervous, anxious, things happen, adrenaline, whatever it is, but he makes mistakes, as he showed very close to the end of the race, ahead by 20. He was ahead of George by like 9 seconds or 8 seconds at the time, and then locked up his tire and almost cost himself the race like Lando Norris did back in the day. So it's like, experience, I think, matters a lot.
I mean,
he was lucky to have that much of a gap. If he had 4 seconds, that would have dropped it down. He lost 2 seconds on that lockup, and George would have been right up his ass, dude.
I think that if George would have qualified better, George would have won. I mean, at the end of the day, we saw that the Mercedes that's out in front is faster than the Mercedes that's behind it. Like it doesn't. I don't know if experience is going to count for a lot here. Then George did a terrible job of managing his tires, and that's why he kept dropping back.
Yeah.
Or clean air is just the sweet spot for that Mercedes, because the same thing happened in Australia when George got out in front and Kimi was out in back. He could not catch up to him anymore. So the car, like you said, I don't think it matters who drives it. To be honest, I mean, aside from Stroll, anyone else on that grid could probably come in first in that car. Like, that car is just that good, which is probably why a lot of teams are concerned if whether they got actual information from Mercedes or if they're being gate kept by Mercedes, hashtag Mercedes gate.
Gatekeep.
But like, it's just, I think that the big factor here was something happening to George's car in quali, not letting him qualify the way that he would have wanted to. That's what my takeaway from the whole Antonelli winning the GP. I think he had a great race, but I think he still needs a little bit more. Like, he's not there yet. He's not world champion material yet.
Toto's not dumb either. I think he definitely picked just a great driver all around, because he was able to hold back a 7-time world champion in his second year. Granted, the car is fast, very fast, faster than the Ferrari, but the Ferrari seems to be fast in all of the right places, like George said in his commentary to the team. He said, man, the Ferrari's just fast in all of the right places. I can't just shoot past them. And that's important too to note, to give Kimi a little bit more credit too, because he did hold off Charles too. I mean, he kept them back there, kept them at bay, and then once again, as soon as I saw the 2-second gap between him and Hamilton, I was like, it's done. It was around lap 12 when
they finally pulled away.
When the yellow flag hit and they went in and everybody pitted, which, thank God, Ferrari didn't fuck that up. Oh my God, I was going to freak out.
They did fuck it up because we talked about this previous to the race. We were on a phone call and I told you Ferrari should start on a hard. Did I not say that? Did I not say that?
Okay.
If Ferrari had started on a hard, yes, granted, we got to wait for things like this to happen, which they're going to happen because it's the early season and a bunch of cars are going to crash.
Brand new regs.
They're gonna stop working like it did for Stroll. Like so, like had Ferrari started on a hard again, I think that Ferrari would have won the race, regardless of how fast that Mercedes is, because you only get overtake for the whole lap if you're a second within the car in front of you. And that's what makes the Ferrari really, the Mercedes, sorry, really powerful. That overtake button plus the battery boost. So like Ferrari starts on a hard, right? They stay out. I think they could have made that gap big enough to come in and then get a soft, like something at the end of the race, and battle it out on a soft. I think that would have given better chances.
But okay, I understand where you're going with that. But because of how early that pit was, I guess they would have. It's hard to say because Mercedes on a medium is quick, man. They're quick. Their takeoff is slow, but also you got to remember the temperature, right? The hard is going to take a lot longer to warm up than that medium. Even so, Ferrari potentially could have like spun out on the first turn because they weren't hot enough yet. They could have not pushed as hard, and so Mercedes would have got a gap faster and ended up way in front. By the time it was time to pit, they might have got a free pit and we were still on hards. You know what I mean? Like it could have gone so many different. A lot of things could have happened. But for just devil's advocate here, if they would have started on hard, right, on a hard tire, and then they managed to keep the same rhythm, and then when they went to pit, Mercedes would have pit. They stay out because they have hards. They could have got a really big gap and potentially had a free pit at some point too. So it could have gone both ways.
The thing is that you force Mercedes' strategy if you do that.
Yeah.
You force to have them at least keep one out.
Or risk making a mistake
or risk making a mistake later. The reason why I bring that up is because I don't think a lot of people notice this, but Carlos Sainz said it in his interview. He was like, yeah, I didn't create a DRS train. I created an overtake train, which is why Colapinto couldn't get back past me, and I finished P9th. Because I used all the blue flags and the overtake button because I'm behind somebody during that blue flag to keep having the overtake button. So in a sense, he's figured out another strategy to keep a slow car ahead of a fast car.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, and we're realizing that, it was like a 9-second gap or 14-second gap to Ferrari at the end of the race. But when we go back...
No, it was more than that.
No, it was like 14 when
was it at the very end?
When Kimi
I thought it was 19.
It was something like that. But it's not how it was when Mercedes was super dominant, where Lewis was giving them like 40 seconds. Lewis was 40 seconds ahead of the pack when Lewis was in his
ahead of second place.
Ahead of second place, in his Mercedes era, right?
Yeah.
So like
they're not as dominant.
They're not as dominant.
They're up there.
And when you look at the points, you're like, well, something's kind of weird here because like it only takes one Ferrari win to put them within like competition for the championship, like 8 to 10 points behind. They get a second win and now they're in first place.
It's still really early, so it can go either way.
It can go anyway.
It is that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, kind of my predictions of what's going to happen the rest of the season. I really think that if Ferrari, I believe Ferrari really does have very close to the best car. All they need is a little bit more top end, and that Mercedes is gonna really struggle to keep up. So, Mercedes is clearly the faster car as far as because Russell is 0.8 seconds ahead of everybody and 0.4 on his qualies ahead of his teammate. So that's the other reason, jumping back to Antonelli, that's why I wanted to give him more props because Antonelli hasn't found that much extraction as George.
Yeah.
And somehow was still able to hold everybody back, even though he's only been 0.4 quicker than the Ferraris at any given quali lap. on a
True.
hot lap.
True.
So it takes a lot more for him to win. It like for Antonelli to have won is impressive regardless because it was a lot more work for sure than not to diminish George. George is a great driver, but because he's got that more experience and knows how to extract more out of that Mercedes,
Hmm.
it does make it a little bit more like if that didn't happen to your car in quali, you probably would have won again, you know. But moving on from the Mercedes thing, the Ferrari, Lewis was complaining the whole time about not having enough power. I didn't see anywhere online or anything if it specified that his battery usage or was it engine power, was it were his tires just gone so they just weren't gripping as much to give him as much power out of the corners. What do you think happened, and is Charles faster
I
or is something wrong with Lewis's car today?
okay. Well,
Like, is something up with it?
for me, I always have to take with a grain of salt whatever Lewis says on the radio because he is the king of mind games. He's the king of my
Yeah.
tires are gone, my tires are gone, and then he's 20 seconds ahead of second place.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, it's hammer time.
Well, and that's why I said, what do you think happened? Because
Okay, here's
I have a theory, but I'll tell you later.
here's what I thought. Okay, I hear him say this a few times, and just when I'm thinking like, oh man, he's probably gonna have to retire the car, something's going on. He passes Leclerc. Like he had just said that 3 seconds ago, and now he's in front of Leclerc. And it's like,
Yes. Yeah.
what are you
That
doing,
was
bro? Like,
yeah.
I'm like,
So
you're playing mind games here.
Well, that's why I asked you what your theory
I
was
think
because
Leclerc is
yeah.
faster. Honestly, I think Leclerc is faster, but I think Lewis has more of that old, that what is
Well,
that?
what
What is that
Mexicans
saying?
call colmillo.
What Mexicans call colmillo, but like there's a saying in English, something like a wolf, something like an old wolf thing. Anyway, I don't know what I'm saying, but I think that's the reason why Lewis ended up in front. He basically outraced Leclerc. Leclerc is faster. I've seen
So
that.
race IQ,
I've seen
experience.
Yeah, I've seen that twice now, where Leclerc is faster. He was faster in Australia and he's faster in China. But Lewis did what to Leclerc, what Russell did to him in the sprint. Lewis forced Leclerc to use up his tires.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he did to him. He just forced him to use up his tires, and then he started
And it
to
was
drift
done.
back. And that's why Leclerc couldn't come back into the race to challenge him anymore. That's the great thing about Lewis is that he learns immediately. Like it doesn't take him.
It takes one time,
takes
and
him-
he learns and
It
adjusts.
takes him one time.
instantly.
So what did he do?
Yeah.
If it like a lot of the laps when they were trading places, Lewis started to do the DRS thing to Leclerc, but with the overtake, he would let Leclerc pass him right before the detection zone, and then Lewis would have overtake for a whole lap.
Yep.
And Leclerc would start to
I
use
remember
up his
thinking that.
tires, trying to keep in front, but he doesn't have any overtake because the Mercedes are too far ahead. So Lewis that like people probably don't notice things. They just notice like, oh, they're just switching places, blah blah. But no, Lewis was like, okay, I'm gonna let you have it.
It's up here. It's up
I'm
here.
gonna let you have it, but now I have overtake for the whole lap. And every time, because like Leclerc is younger, yes, he's faster. Like it played against him, and Lewis ended
It
up
did.
using up Leclerc's tires with that overtake trick, to the point to where it got as soon as he got ahead of him, the last time, it was over.
I think in just straight speed right now, Leclerc is faster than Hamilton.
Yeah,
But this is why I love how this season is going. Not just because I'm a Lewis fan, obviously, but the race IQ matters. How smart is your driver? Is he just some dumbass that holds the steering wheel and is like, I'm good at corners, cool. No, now you have to manage so many different variables other than just your tires and your strategy. So I think it's like whoever the smartest driver is that learns when to push the boost button, when to reserve and build your energy, and when to strategically pass everybody so that you can maintain that speed. And like Carlos, right? What he's doing with that to manage keeping everyone behind him, even though he is slower in that Williams. It's a miracle he's even up there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I do give Leclerc some credit for being faster. I do think that a lot of people are on the other side of the whole race IQ. They for some reason people believe
People hate it.
people hate that, like they think that now you need less race IQ, and it's like
No,
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 because
it's
you
not.
have
It's not
so
that
many
way.
more things going on now, and the track doesn't give you 3 DRS zones where you know you're gonna get it, and that was a huge advantage before. Now you actively have to defend like the whole lap. You don't just have to defend DRS zones. Like you have to defend a whole lap. Like we saw a lot of passing because, like we said in the beginning of the season, those Ferraris are going to be really good in the turns. They're going to be really good in the
Yes.
corners. A lot of their passing was in those corners because they don't have the straight line speed, or actually, they don't even have the straight line speed because the car isn't fast. It's because the aerodynamics are a little bit lacking. So they're
You
getting.
think it's the
I
arrow?
think it's the aero because Alpine was the fastest car out on the track today, faster than the Mercedes. Alpine had the fastest straight at like 300.
212.
No, it was 355 kilometers. It's 219 miles an hour.
Oh, 219. That's what it was.
Like
Everyone else has only hit
that.
201.
That is a fast straight.
Yeah.
And they're not up there. What does that mean? Alpine's got weight problems.
arrow.
They got weight problems.
You think it's weight?
They got weight problems, just like Williams. So Ferrari could have aero, could have weight problems, like we don't know. But if they fix that, just the aerodynamic part. For example, I think that the flip-flop wing or the Macarena wing, whatever they want to call it,
Whatever they want to call it.
it applies too much drag, too much downforce when it closes. And that's what caused Hamilton to spin out in free practice 1. But when it opens, it gives them so much speed. The problem is it closes in a way that the car gets so much downforce that it just spins out. Like they can't control it yet. They don't know how to time that yet. But when they figure out how to counterbalance that Macarena wing with the front wing, I don't know if they have the front wing close first to keep that front end grounded,
Yeah, like alternate.
and then close the Macarena wing second, like just a second, like half a second,
Millisecond.
differences, could keep that car straight and controllable, and that would give them a little bit more in the straights because that Mercedes in the straights and the slipstream with the aero package it's got and the weight and the less weight that it's probably has, it's just eating anybody out. But how do you get Alpine being the fastest, like the highest top speed? And it had to have been in a straight to get the highest top speed. It's not going to be through the corners. So that tells me Alpine, if they get their weight together, like they're going to be up there.
They could be up there.
They're going to be up there.
They were P5, P6.
Yeah, they were P5.
Almost all race long.
Yeah.
It was impressive, actually, to see them up that high. And I'm sure Flavio is just, he's getting a taste of, we could do this.
could
We
be
need to
better.
fix. And I can't imagine what the pressure looks like in Alpine right now for everyone, because he's like, we're so close now. Before they were so far behind that it was like, well, let's just hope for the best. But now he's probably like, let's go. We're P5, P6 most of the race.
Yeah.
Give me more or you're fired. Like,
Yeah.
that dude's brutal. He's a fucking animal.
Yeah, he
So,
is.
but I wanted to talk a little bit about the fighting, the battles that's happening with Ferrari and with Mercedes. Right now, if nothing gets changed with upgrades and stuff like that, if everything was to be the same for the whole season, like I said, it would be Ferrari versus Ferrari for third, maybe second here and there, depending on if someone has a DNF or something like that. And then Mercedes, would be going just wheel to wheel with each other too. And I wonder if everything stays roughly the same, or everyone's upgrades just keep everyone in the same position, but you're just moving little by little forward. I think that Ferrari's best bet would be if George or Kimi became Lando and Piastri and fought for that championship, but I don't think that it would go that way with Mercedes being the team that they are. I think they would be like, "Hey, let George take it." Because Kimi's the future.
Well,
present is Russell.
I saw Toto's comment last year, in last year's races, where he was like, "Oh, they got to figure that out." When it was Piastri and Norris, because he was like, "We figured it out already." So I know for a fact Mercedes is not gonna.
Is George Team George?
It's Team George right now. Right now, this is all gonna depend a lot on what George does to mess it up. If George starts to mess it up and Kimi starts to get more wins, it's gonna be Team Kimi. Regardless of George being the senior driver, and
Mercedes wants to win. So if you're gonna perform, you're gonna be the one that they choose.
And as long as they're 1-2, the guy up front is gonna stay up front. That's just how it is. But I will say,
man, I think it's still Team George all season, regardless, unless Kimi gets a really big advantage on him. Because
there's only 10 points right now, so
we've heard it before though. George is Mr. Consistent.
True.
That's what Mercedes wants.
True.
It's cool that Kimi won, but if Kimi can't win and be P1 every race, but George can, it's still gonna be George's team. The Mercedes, that's just how they work.
Yeah.
They pick who they want, and that's who's gonna take it. You've said a lot of times that back in the day, if Rosberg would have been who they chose, it would have been Rosberg, who was a 7-time or whatever.
Yes.
And very well could have been. I mean, he took one from Lewis, for sure.
With everything against him.
Okay. So leaving all of that potential drama behind, because we don't know how it's going to go yet, there's a lot of possibilities with both of those teams to go south really quick, but also for them to figure it out. And if Charles plays, driver number 2 or something at some point and Lewis wins, I wouldn't doubt it that the next season it would be trying to get Charles 1.
I think that Lewis, I got to be honest with you. Like, I know you love the guy. I know you're a Ferrari guy, but I got to be honest with you. Lewis is really not there to win a championship with Ferrari. Lewis thinks he is.
In here, he is.
Yeah, Lewis thinks he is.
The team wants money. It's marketing for them.
But the team wants Leclerc to win, and what they want is they want Leclerc to have. It's basically what Aston Martin is doing, hiring ex-champions, so that Stroll can somehow magically learn how to race, be a champion. Like you hired Seb, and it's a mentoring program for Stroll. That's what it is. You hire Alonso. Yeah. It's a mentoring program for Stroll, which is not fucking working, by the way.
Yeah.
And over here, Hamilton has the experience, the IQ that they want to inject into Leclerc. But at the same time, they fail to realize that, like, Leclerc doesn't want to be Hamilton. Leclerc wants to be Leclerc.
Yes.
So he's trying to take all the things that he can from Hamilton. But at the end of the day, Ferrari's not going to pick Hamilton. Hamilton's on his way out. That's simple like that. It's just plain and clear. Hamilton is on his way out.
No.
And I guarantee you now that if Hamilton would have stayed at Mercedes wouldn't have picked. They would have gave him one more.
And then it would have been George.
And then it would have been George's team.
But they would have gave him his 8th.
Perhaps.
And in this car, Lewis would be 40 seconds ahead of everybody again. We can talk about Lewis all day if we wanted to. Both positive for me and negative for you because you're a hater.
What?
Speaking of fucking haters, I want to like the one of the radio shows that I like to watch says, I want to give Donkey of the fucking Day to David Coulthard, whatever the fuck your name is, dude. What a hater. Lewis, I never thought I'd welcome you back to the podium or whatever, paraphrasing, but he said something stupid like that. I'm like, bro, this is a celebration. Lewis is back on the podium, and that's what you choose to say? Like, you're such a douchebag for that. Yeah. I don't care if you don't like Lewis. I don't care if you're a Red Bull dick rider like he is and Max, and he just loves Max, and Joss and him go and hang out and rub each other out. Whatever. you shouldn't be a hater like that. If Max had had a losing streak for 4 years, right, and then he was back on
he's about to have it.
And he was back on third, right? Anything other than like welcome back to the podium. This is so cool to see you here too. Like it should be a celebration for everybody.
Yeah,
Congratulations. You prove it, and if anything, it was a time for a chance for growth. As an old ass man, he could have said, "You've heard my opinions. This is awesome. I'm glad you proved me wrong. This is great. I love seeing you up here. This is so cool."
Yeah, it was
but no, he chose the
for.
opposite. He chose the opposite way, and you could tell that Lewis was like, always the classiest one on the grid, Lewis. So he just paid it no mind and kind of just, but you could tell that it irked him a little bit, like, fuck you. Why would you say that right now?
Man.
You know?
I agree. I totally agree.
Now that I'm off of him, he got his 15 seconds of fame. Let's move on past that old piece of shit. Here on the podcast, we want to introduce a new segment called The Real Driver of the Day. True. Because on the TV, we both know it's popularity. Who's the coolest guy? Who's in the top 4 already? And they went from 4th to 1st or 3rd to 1st or whatever.
Can we also do a worst driver of the day?
Yes, but I don't know that I'm prepared for that.
You don't think you're prepared for that?
Because the people that piss me off like that, I just don't go watch their screen. I'm like, God, you're an idiot. If you give me the chance, I'm going to say Stroll for 24 fucking episodes straight. Because he don't deserve to be there. And all of you fuckers online know that he don't deserve to be there. His daddy bought the team, and the only reason he's there is because his daddy owns the team.
He gets a salary. He gets $12 million a year for racing on daddy's team. I mean, he should race for free.
He gets $12 million a year to go and beach the fucking car at every track that he can, and then be like, sorry guys, I got off the main road and got on the rocks for fun.
If you just want to hand out $12 million a year to do that, I could do that for you.
I could go get beached for first lap, guaranteed. I could do it. I promise I could do it.
I could just do one lap and then like
I couldn't fit in the car for like 6 months, but then once I fit in the car, I could gladly go get it beached for $12 million. But
how much do they weigh? Like 130, 140?
I think the heaviest is George because of how tall he is, and I think he's like 150 something. Like they're all small dudes, man. They're skinny.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fit in that car either. I'm like at 170 right now, so.
Yeah, it'd be tough to fit in one, but once we got there, we could beach it for sure. For $12 million, I'll roll that bitch for you for $12 million. I don't care.
For $12 million, but I'll just make sure I'll take someone out with me if that's what you want. I would at least take someone out with me. You know, like, okay, let's take out a Cadillac. They're making us
Stroll
look bad.
Stroll is good at that. Stroll is good at taking out anyone else with him too.
Oh my goodness.
So we know where my opinion would be, but who do you think, for legitimate reasons, that this was their worst? They were the worst driver today. We'll see if it matches who I was thinking.
Lindblad. For me, it's Lindblad.
Yeah.
For me, it's Lindblad.
Yeah, man.
Because I just replayed the race in my head, and I was like, what were you doing out there?
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen to you?
I'm not sure. I have to go back and rewatch it again, and I will. But I need to go back and rewatch just from his POV to see, like, was it bad luck that you just kept on, or is it like driver error every single time? Well, because his race went like this, dude. Like,
yeah.
he was just, he'd get back up there and then just something stupid and get right back down.
The worst part about this for me is that I'm counting on him to make Lawson look bad, and he made him look good.
Me too. Yeah, man.
And he made him look good. Like, Lawson was up there. He got 8 points.
P8.
Like, Lawson is tied on points with Verstappen. How crazy is that? In an RB.
Yeah.
So, like,
in the little sister.
In the little sister RB, yeah. So, Lindblad, get your head out of your ass and start helping us out, man.
Compare Melbourne to here in Shanghai. Not the same driver at all, bro. Lindblad was a completely different person. I don't know what happened. If it's a mental thing or what. Pressure.
I wondered if it was a mental thing too.
Like, now that you performed so well on your debut, now the pressure was like, okay, now you got to do that next race. And he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what is it? What happened? I agree. If we did have to say a bad driver, I think Lindblad just had the clearest display of like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
So I agree with you.
Losing focus. Something's going
But
on with him.
the real driver of the day, no matter the history books or what happened today, the real driver of the day, we both can agree. I wrote it on my talking points. He was the first name that I came up with. There was a lot of really good ones up in from P5 to P10. There was a lot of good work happening.
Yeah.
But Sainz just completely was doing this the whole damn race.
Yeah, he did not dip.
Consistent, passing everyone in his time. Got points for the Williams, which is like with their hydraulic issues that they've been having. It's like
Yeah,
you shouldn't even be up
He
there.
put a P16 car
Yeah,
and he cut that in half and put it up into like P9.
yeah,
Like
damn near half.
damn near half.
P9 in a Williams right now. It breaks my heart, man, because I want nothing more than Albon and Sainz to be up there in the top six. You know what I mean? Like in the top 3 teams.
Well, I agree.
But
I agree.
oh my gosh, man, they were getting there with the old regulations, and now they've just fallen back heavy.
Well, I was
And
watching the interview with Science, and he said something that we both believe because we've mentioned it before. And he was like, he's like, P16 is not where I should be.
no,
He's like, P15 is
absolutely
not where I
not.
should be. And I was like, I fucking agree with you 100%. You and Albin should be top 7,
Absolutely.
you know? And that's just based on their driving because they also need the vehicle to take them there, you know? But at the same time, it's like,
They're driving and they're
would I take Sainz over Gasly? Yes. Would I take Albin over Gasly? Yes. Would I take Sainz over Lawson? Yes. Over
yes.
Albin over Lawson? Yes. Like in those positions, yes. But you know, Williams
The
has
car's
got
not there.
a huge weight problem. I think they're like 30 to 40 pounds overweight. Like that's
Yeah.
a big, and you took it from like where you started to 9th. Yeah, Williams has
think-
got to get on the weight management quick.
They
Like,
do for sure.
just like Alpine. Like Alpine can't be the fastest car on the straights and not be battling for 3rd or 4th. You know, like they were like way behind the Ferraris. So for me, yeah, I agree. Carlos Sainz is
Carlos
for me,
Sainz is our driver of the day.
Driver,
For anyone who doesn't know or is just getting into, they're not like, who are all these people, you know?
yeah.
So moving on from our real driver of the day, not the popularity contest, Cadillac. We'll jump all the way to P15, 16,
Yeah.
right?
Well, Bottas was like 14th, I think.
14. Was it 14, 16 or 14, 15?
14, 16th, I think.
Okay. They're finishing races
Yeah. That's
from literal scratch. It's not like Audi that already had the engineers, their mechanics, their whole background set up. Everything is ready to go, and they just put a new sticker that says Audi.
yeah.
This is from
Nothing.
the roots.
From
The
nothing.
roots. We're looking at the roots of a team, and they're finishing when other seasoned teams are struggling. DNSs even, they don't even start.
Yeah.
And then
that's true.
retire. All the Aston Martin with Adrian Newey.
Yeah.
Big dick of F1. What's happening there?
Oh my goodness.
Cadillac is doing. Everyone's gonna hate because that's just who everyone is.
they're a
They
new
all
team.
don't. They all don't like Bettis because they're idiots and they don't really understand the sport. But they will if they watch our podcast. They'll understand why things happen. So, but anyone who's a real Checo fan that knows the sport and Bottas could have had one or two, three, four. He could have had a few.
He could have had 3 at least. Yeah.
Bottas, my respects to him. The best number 2 driver, hands down, ever.
Hands down.
Just a
yeah.
solid dude. And same with Checo. Always did everything to get Max all those 4 championships. And without Perez, even if they want to complain and say that he didn't help much, without Perez, Max never wins the first or the second.
True.
And possibly even that third one. The fourth one,
No,
at that point,
I'll give him the third because the Red Bull was really dominant. So, but the
Yes.
fourth one was like he still was a little bit instrumental into that because he didn't get a lot of the points that he did, but when you look back on the season, he got like 60, 70 more points than like what Yuki and Lawson did put together.
put together. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
in that shit car.
And struggling with that bastard the whole
Yeah.
time. But not because of his talents, because the car was built for Max. And if you watch all of those interviews, you know now the true drama of what happened in that team because he went and said it all in
Yeah, he
that
said, yeah,
podcast.
if you were faster than Max, it's a problem. If you were slower than Max,
If
it's
you're
a problem.
slower, it was a problem, so he couldn't win
Like-
regardless.
Like he had to be
But-
basically on Max's ass and make sure he stayed there.
Yeah.
Like
A few,
what
like
kind
a,
of team
like
is that?
half a second behind Max, enough to keep everyone behind him, but fast enough that no one passes you either.
Exactly.
Like they wanted him to be
It's just
P1.
Max's
He
shield
wanted him to be P2 for sure, and to shield Max like he did
in the first
2021.
two. Yeah, in the first
And
two.
2020. Yeah, exactly. But impressive overall for Cadillac. I can't wait to see how they progress from here. And all the haters are going to come on here and say, yeah, it was because no one else. It was all the DNSs that Cadillac is finishing. But the
Well,
impressive
no,
part is that they are not getting DNSs or
No,
DNFs. Like they're.
It's because of those that they finished in those places. But
Yeah.
they finished the race. I mean, Aston didn't finish the race. Regardless of the stupidity that Stroll does every race to make his daddy look bad. Like
Yeah.
they had to retire Alonso's car. Like either because of the vibrations or because the car couldn't go anymore or Alonso couldn't go anymore because that car's a shitbox.
Pain. Yeah.
But the Cadillacs are finishing races, and a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, but they're not gonna get any points." We're not looking for points. Like Cadillac shouldn't be thinking about points.
They're not even thinking about points. right now.
Cadillac is thinking about data. They
Yep.
don't have data. Like
Yep.
they've never ran cars before. Audi has a bunch of data when they were Sauber.
Mhm.
They've got Sauber's old data as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Everything.
and then Aston's got data from years back. They've got Honda's data now from when Honda was doing Red Bull's engines.
Red Bull and everything else.
like-
Yep.
But Cadillac has no data. They're getting the data they're getting now because Ferrari's not going to give them the data from back then. Ferrari's going to be like,
Yeah.
I'll give you the engine, I'll give you the powertrain. It's up
Figure
to
it
you to figure out the rest. You got the
Yeah.
gearbox, you got the powertrain. It's up to you to figure out the rest. You figure out your
Yeah.
aero, you figure out whether if it's a pull rod or a push rod suspension, you figure out your diffusers, you figure out like your wings. And so
The
they're
whole aero.
the whole package.
everything.
They're just figuring out data. So they're on here for data, which brings me to another point, which is like, why the hell did Checo hit Bottas? Was that a mistake, a loss of focus, or are they really trying to race each other when they just should be trying to finish the race and getting Cadillac that data?
I honestly don't think that they're purposely racing each other to like as if they were going to win a trophy or anything like that. I honestly believe that it was just a slip in focus, maybe a blind spot. Like Bottas maybe just came up right at the right time in a blind spot, and Checo wasn't checking his mirrors as often as he should or something into that turn. But I think it was a lack of focus on Checo's part for that split second, because that's all you need. A millisecond of not focusing and you're gonna hit somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
You're working with like inches of space within each other, and maybe it was a little bit of Bottas too coming in too hot or something. I don't know. It could be both, but I think it was Checo's issue.
I think it was Checo's mistake. And the worst part about it is, like, we just talked about the haters and all of that. The worst part about it is that it's going to blow up because it was him. Had it been the other way around, I don't think it would be as big of
an issue.
As an issue. But because he hit Bottas, I know that a shit ton of people are going to be like, oh, see, we told you, he sucks, he shouldn't be in Formula 1.
He can't drive for shit.
And it's like, really? You'd rather have a Stroll on the track? Really? You'd rather have a Stroll on the track than Checo, who has taken midfield cars and made them fourth place in the championship, like the team. Racing Point was fourth.
Racing Point.
India was fourth. And they had Stroll.
Another time that
Like,
Stroll was
how do you tell me this
God,
and then
man.
fail to see, like,
I forgot about that.
Checo wins a race and Stroll gets third.
Yeah.
In the last season that he was at the Racing Point before it became Aston Martin. Like, and you still want to talk about, like, this guy? No. Like, if it was the other way around, it would have been less impactful. I do think that there's a lot of people. The media has done its job in creating like all these hater groups for Checo. But I mean, come on, dude. Like you can't be hitting your teammate. I love the guy.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the guy, but I'm also like impartial. You fucked up, Checo.
Yeah.
Like
When you fuck
give
up, we
us
gotta tell you.
give us data. Give Cadillac data. That's all you need right now. Don't try to race him. Yeah, fuck Lawson. Race Lawson all you want.
Yeah.
You know,
I love that
Look-
fight every time it comes up.
you know, I'm waiting for that. Even if Lawson's gonna get by because he's in the better vehicle,
Make him
make,
earn
make him
that
earn
shit.
it. Make him
Make
earn
him
it.
earn
But
it,
like,
bro.
don't hit Bottas, bro. Come on now.
I will say another thing too. We give Cadillac all these props right now, right? But I also wanna hit them with the truth as well. What the fuck is up with their pit stop? 6 seconds? Well, I think it was Perez or Bottas's that got like 5.6 or something. But it's like, I know it's your first time, but it ain't these mechanics' first time. I'm sure that some of these mechanics were picked up from other teams. Maybe they weren't the best on the team, you know what I mean? So they could be slacking a little bit. But I was just like, and I might catch some flack for this. We might go viral for what I'm about to say. It's a hot take. I don't think it's that hard to fucking, someone puts a tire on for you, you put the fucking thing back in.
Okay.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Invite me to the paddock. I would love to try it.
They actually have those events. You know, if you ever see a Formula One event where they're doing the tire change, you should go try it.
I want to go do it, dude. Because
Um,
they might pick me up.
I'm just, I'm just saying, like, it's growing.
That was
pains.
bad,
It's
man. It
growing
was
pains,
bad.
though. Like, let's take it back a couple years. Before they were rock stars, and now they're wankers. Who said that?
Don't know.
Gunther Steiner. Why? Because they were doing really great in the race, and then they came in the pit, and they fucked up the pit stop. 3 races in a row. Has had those same growing pains.
Yeah, they did.
Like,
they did.
I just
it was
watched
bad.
Red Bull do a pit stop blindfolded. 2.84 seconds. Blindfolded.
In a race?
No, like the
No,
car.
just like practice.
Just practice. 2.84 seconds blindfolded.
But that makes sense though. Like once they're red, I don't know if they still are,
It's
but
practice.
they were the
It's
absolute.
practice.
Yeah,
It's practice.
Whatever. That's what I'm saying though. Like something like that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, that's
You know,
the
do
thing.
you get what I mean? Like I understand the growing pains, but it's like if I'm running Cadillac, if I'm the team principal, those mechanics are gonna and I see that slow of a stop. All of my mechanics, what engineers, whatever you want to call them, they're gonna be doing that over and over. Checo and Bottas have done plenty of pit stops. They know how to come in. They know where to stop. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the mechanics of this team that are still growing and trying to figure it out, they should have one of the reserve drivers drive that Cadillac just from the pit lane to the park and then the takeoff. And then have the second one come in, another reserve driver, a F2 kid or something. Same thing. You come in with the second one. These guys need to get this shit together. Like, changing the tires should not be that big of a deal.
I
You
don't
should
know
be able to
if
do it.
there's regulations against that.
Against
But-
their team practicing?
Against practicing like that, because they also do in FP1s, they do pit stop practices in free practices. So I don't know if there's regulations against that. I'm gonna have to take a look into that.
I mean, maybe we could Google that and find out. But I'm just saying, like, if there is restrictions on how much they can practice and stuff like that, then it is
Yeah.
what it is. If you can only practice during free practice, it is what it is. But if you can practice, if the F1 movie or Rush or any of the other movies that have done Formula One driven, that kind of stuff, if you believe, I know they're movies, right? So a lot of it, I'm sure, is fake. But they
Yeah.
said that the F1 movie was very accurate as far as like wind tunnels and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah,
All of that
technical
kind of
side.
stuff. So, and where the teams are like running laps and doing cardio and stuff like that. They didn't show any practice of the pit stop. So maybe there might be something to that where they don't get to practice. Maybe we can have what's his name? The guy from that was the Red Bull mechanic that was super famous, and now he's just like podcast, like he
The
left
Lewis
Red Bull.
Hamilton guy, the one that looks like Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, he's got the dreads.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
That
but yeah.
dude.
I still remember
But
the meme when they were like, "Hey, how did Lewis get into the Red Bull garage?"
yeah, people are idiots. But no, like maybe we could talk to him, or I need to go listen to his podcast. Maybe he's talked about it, and if not, you know, if you see us, I doubt it, but if you see us, answer our question,
Yeah, answer our
because
question.
that's one I would like to know.
True.
Is there no way to get better without just practicing in your hotel room with a tire and a fake gun? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
But
speaking of fuck ups like that, how do you go from being so far up the grid in a Haas, and then Ocon just losing his head, and like running into was it Colapinto?
that kind of hurt me, man, because Colapinto was having a damn day. Him
Yeah, he was
and
having a good
Gasly were
day.
having
Yeah,
a
they were
day,
having a
and
good
then
day.
that
Yeah.
happened, and I was like, I think that's why Colapinto ended up in like P7 or
No,
right
Colapinto's
P7 P8.
P10.
Was he
He
P10?
was behind
Yeah,
Sainz.
he ended up all the way back there, dude, and he was up there and with Gasly in P5 and 6 the whole time. So that ruined his race, but I don't know what Ocon was doing. It had to be just like when he was teammates with Gasly, where he would just once he gets pissed, Ocon is
Yeah,
Max. When Max gets mad, that fool just like tunnel vision and
and he's like, "I'm
turns
gonna
in
make up for it."
turns into like -1 mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna make a mistake, and I'm gonna pull something out of my ass.
yeah.
Ocon is the opposite. He gets mad.
But
He's
he's gonna
like,
make all the
Mario Kart. I'm gonna
mistakes."
fuck everybody up. Like he just,
I just,
oh,
I just couldn't
which is
understand. I was
shitty
like,
because he's such a good driver, dude. But then those
he's a good
moments
driver,
happen, and
but
you're like, oh my hell,
I
man.
feel like he gets lost in his head. I mean, at least he had the balls to say, "Yeah, that was my bad."
Yeah.
You know,
Everyone else,
he didn't do the whole Formula One driver thing. It was like, "Oh, he cut me out," or "He
he didn't
pushed
give
me
me
wide, he didn't
space.
give me space." No, like he had the balls to be like, "Yeah, that was all my bad."
Yeah,
So
that
I
was my
like
fuck up.
respect for that. Yeah, respect for that. But come on,
Respect for that,
Ocon,
but also you're
bring it
in the
up,
most
bring it back.
competitive league in motorsport racing. What are you doing losing your head?
Yeah,
They weren't even in high of like they're not even like top 3 at that point, and they're just let me just crash into you so we can both get fucked and get no points.
and it
Because he was in the
also,
points.
and it
He was
also,
running for points the whole
this
time, and
is
then
the
that
worst.
happened.
This is the worst part about him doing this, or him losing focus, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It makes him look even worse in the head-to-head to Ollie Behrman. Like, let's get Ollie a
Yes.
better car. Come on.
Yes,
He
dude.
needs a
That was
Ferrari.
one of our talking points for sure. If one of those teams that really figured it out puts Behrman in there,
Yeah.
I think it would be very hard for some of those people.
Now, granted,
Behrman is doing some good potential. He's showing some good potential.
this is the better Haas in years, right?
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
if I compare him to Mick Schumacher, if I
Mhm.
compare him to
That was with Shu.
Nikita Mazepin, yeah, Mazepin.
Yeah, with Mazepin, with Mick. Yeah,
Mick
in
and
2021.
Mazepin, like Ollie blows them out of the water, dude. Both.
Yeah.
Mick and He's not
Yeah.
gonna blow Magnussen. Magnussen was another thing. He was another guy who had the bad luck of always having a bad team and a
A
bad car.
shitty team. Yeah, man.
Like K-Mag was a badass.
Ugh.
Like especially when he.
It's the
turns
same
around.
with Hulkenberg too. Hulkenberg's a beast, dude, but
Yeah.
they never gave him the car,
And
man.
he never
He
had a
never
good
had the
car.
car.
Never had a good car. Hulkenberg and Checo were on the same team in Force India.
Mm.
Or actually Sauber. I think it was Sauber. And Checo had an awesome season his rookie year and his second year with Sauber, and Hulkenberg didn't. So like there's also drivers that can perform really well in like mid-tier teams or lower teams. And then there's drivers that can only perform well in good teams.
Great teams.
Yeah. So like it takes me back to no hate, but it takes me back to Alonso saying like, well, that guy can only win from the front row when he's talking about Hamilton, And to this day, it's been proven. Hamilton hasn't won without a great car.
This will be his year though when it does happen. That's why I was so excited for him to go to Ferrari, was because you and me always go at it, and you've always said he only wins.
I always said it was 90% the car, 10% him.
Well, you're all for Shu being greatest of all time because he won with
not really.
different teams and
Not
shit.
really.
And I was like, wait till Lewis wins with Ferrari too.
I would love for Lewis to be greatest of all time because it would
He
Like
is.
I love when people prove me wrong. So if Lewis gets a championship with Ferrari, go. It's plain and
I don't
simple.
think so.
Go.
I still think that you'll be the hater that's like, yeah, but once again, it's Ferrari. Like he won with Mercedes, McLaren, Ferrari now. They're all the
No,
greatest teams. It's like make him win
no,
with fucking uh Cadillac to send him to Cadillac and see if
no.
he wins.
Like
Like no one's
I
gonna
honestly
fucking
would
win
love a
all
race
the
where
way
we
back
take
there.
like we've had this conversation. I would love a race where we give them the shittiest car on the grid, and we put
Mhm.
Alonso and Hamilton up against each other in the shittiest car, and let's just let them battle it out.
The thing is, dude, is that this sport will never be that with two cars on each team. I think that it should. We've had this discussion so many times. I'm all for letting the racers just race, but in this new era with all the tech and like your engineers being able to manipulate controls from
Mm-hmm.
from the pit wall and shit like that, you will never really know
Yeah.
if you won or if someone did
Oh
something to
no,
manipulate a
you
car.
will, you will. Let's take it back to Senna's car.
Okay, but
Give
let's put
them
it.
both
Wait, wait,
Senna's
wait, wait,
car.
wait, wait,
Give them
wait,
both
wait, wait,
Senna's
wait, wait, wait,
championship car.
wait, 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 wait. But no, but this is just to see like a battle between Lewis and Alonso or so and so and so and so. I'm talking like what, in the great scheme of the sport, the whole
Oh yeah,
race.
there's no way
I
now.
wish it was more like that, where the drivers control their controls from the steering wheel, and that's it. The pit wall can't do a damn thing to slow you down, to help cool your engine by giving you less power so you don't blow your own engine or whatever. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that pit wall does help everybody. Or if they don't want you to win, it'll fucking
Yeah.
hinder you because they will turn your shit down just a little bit just so you can't beat
Well,
Max.
it's like today when
You know?
Lewis was like saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm losing power. I need you guys to do something." Like, right? That
Right.
basically tells people that don't really know the sport that like they have control.
Yeah. The pit wall has a lot of control because of all those sensors and all the electronics that happen. But I agree with you that the most interesting way, I think, and I think that's why all those drivers want those V10s back or the V12s, because especially in that era, dude, like when Senna and all them were there, there wasn't help from outside. Like they tuned your car, got it ready for quali, you qualied in it. They checked it out before the race too. Got
Yeah,
every
I mean,
made sure you were able to finish the damn race for
like
the most part, and then you just were on your own. That was
that was
different
a
level.
reason why Niki Lauda was like so respected because of the way that he would build a car just by feeling it in his body. Like
How
it's
it handled, how it
how
moved,
it moved just with
everything.
his body. Like he had that, like I guess you could say like a sixth sense. So
It's like
like
Senna too.
Senna with the driving style is what he changed the sport with the driving style that he would do.
He was he was up here with in tune with the car too, just like Lauda, but Lauda was a level above him just a little bit as far as figuring out the car and setting it up. I'm so excited. I was one of the ones I was like, these regulations are gonna suck. I'm gonna hate watching this. This is gonna be so dumb. But I didn't go the same
Let's
way as the general population. They all hate it, even the drivers. And I'm like, this is what do you mean? This is
I'll
cool.
give it a chance because it's cool. Yeah, you get a lot of battles, but
Overtakes,
you don't
yeah.
just get battles in the front. You get battles throughout the whole field. There's been seasons that we've watched where we're like nothing happens in the midfield. Like, you know, you just get the battle up front in the first turn. The first turn was always
The
like
first turn was the most
yeah, it
exciting
was the most
thing.
exciting,
Last
and it's
season,
like people forget. It's like, oh no, like you were waiting for one turn.
one turn, the first 10 seconds of
One
the
turn. I mean,
race.
how many interviews do we have in the past where Alonso's like, well, they let all these guys get away with it in turn one, but they don't let me get away with it in turn one. It's
Hmm.
like because that was like the most exciting part of the race. After that, the fastest car would get out in front, and race was
And it was
over.
done.
Race was over. We at least are getting like between 1 and 8 laps of like actual like fighting in the front, and then we're getting the later laps. We're getting them with fighting in the midfield, and it makes the sport a little bit more enjoyable to watch. because you get the overtakes, you get the crashes, you get, all these things that weren't happening before. But like, it's just, we have to give it time. Yeah, we don't like that there's like 50% battery, it's turning into Formula E, all of that stuff. Yeah, I get that. But the drivers have to be more on point. I think that there's a lot more things that they have to do now to stay in front. That they got to manage more things. It brings the race IQ even higher. And the ones that get it fastest, those are the guys that are going to reap the rewards from that. It's like science today, figuring out how to do the overtake train. No more DRS train now, it's the overtake train. All of these things are just like strategies that are provided
I think
by the drivers, not by the teams. These are
yes,
driver provided
yes.
strategies.
If your driver sucks, not only because of the car, like if the car is just terrible and they just can't figure it out, like Aston Martin, I'll give even Stroll a break with that car because that car's fucked, right? And I don't think I'll ever blame a bad uh a bad drive
Hmm.
on someone like Alonso. I don't think it's ever going to be the driver with Alonso,
Yeah.
with Hamilton,
Yeah, because these
with
are proven drivers. Yeah.
right. So with them, if they're struggling, it's the car,
Yeah.
right? Checo's proven it was the damn car, and it still is the car,
Oh,
right?
thank you for bringing us back to that. I
Hold
want
up,
to.
I want to button up this conversation though.
Okay.
The in Australia, in Melbourne, the overtakes were like 100 and something, and um compared to last season, it was what 45 the whole season. I just looked up the overtakes in Shanghai this year compared to last year. There was 90 plus overtakes in Shanghai today.
This today, and there was 53 last year. I mean,
Like it's a better season, man.
it
If you
is.
like racing, if you like wheel to wheel, it's a better season. I don't
Yeah,
give a shit what anyone online says. It's a better season. It's a better
definitely.
season.
I think
But
it's a
let's
better
move on to
season
what you were
too.
saying about Red Bull.
I was just like, we were talking about how bad the car was for Checo, and now it kind of makes me happy
It
be-
makes me very happy.
because like
Yeah.
Max is struggling to get it off the line, let alone drive the damn thing just to get a good launch.
Yeah.
Like the whole weekend. Like I think honestly for me, worst team of the weekend, Red Bull.
But yeah,
Red
yes,
Bull.
that's what I'm glad we agree because I
Red
was gonna
Bull.
fight you for that shit because they were the worst team this whole weekend. It was bad. But you know what pisses me off? Now that Max is very much struggling with the car,
Yeah.
insert cricket noise here. No one's saying shit. No one's
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
that's
Max ain't
true.
shit. He's all washed up. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's in fucking P12
Now
or
it's the car.
16.
Now it's the
Now
car.
it's
It's
the
not the
car.
driver.
Fuck
Now it's
you
the
guys.
car.
Now it's the car. No. Fuck that. How about it's Max? Max sucks. He's washed up. He's done. When Lewis started losing
Yeah.
after 2021, Lewis is old. He needs to retire. He ain't the greatest of all time. Like he's
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
coming back.
That's
Lewis is done. He's past his prime. Max is done. He's
this
past.
is
Send
all
his
this
ass out.
this is all media.
No.
This is all media. Yeah. Like this is all media. Like Max is having a hard time with the car.
But it's the car.
The RB powertrain is just shit. It's shit.
See, but that
I mean, once it gets going, like I said, it's really good when following some
on
cars,
certain tracks, it's gonna be really
and
good.
it's
Like Melbourne.
and he gets back up to like sixth place.
Yeah.
But then you start to realize like that's a P6 car.
hmm
It's a shit car.
This season, it's a shit car. It is. But that's what I like about you and me. And we are very different from any other podcast out there on TikTok, on wherever you want to look for it. Because we know it's the car. Max is still Max.
Yeah, Max is still
Checo
Max,
is
yeah.
still Checo.
Yeah.
Lewis is still fucking Lewis. It was the car.
I wonder how long it's gonna take the media or the yellow papers, the guys that always have something negative to say. How long is it gonna take for them to start bitching about Max and not the car and not for Red Bull powertrains?
They're not going to because a lot of this sport, regardless of what anyone wants to say, it is a lot of politics. It's a lot of money.
We should start counting the days just to see how long it takes for the media to start bashing Max and not the car.
And not the car.
And not the car. Like
I
that's
think we
that's
should.
an interesting thing. I think we should because
We should start every episode like
it's
that.
It's two GPs. Yeah, it's two GPs, and it's still the car. It's not Max. It's the car. Really?
Yeah.
Like
Be fair. Be like you were with
it's
everybody
the car
else.
that you couldn't get it off the line, and you lost like 10 places.
And I will say, and I don't like Lawson. I don't like him. I don't. As a driver, I don't know him as a person, but as a driver, I don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking about not being the driver, everyone needs to just come out and do a fucking anyone that was a hater against those drivers, from Danny, Rick, Gasly, all the way up to Checo, that were saying that they weren't shit and that it wasn't the car or whatever. Like, they need to come and do an apology tour now and be like,
Oh,
because
that's not gonna
obviously,
happen.
no, they won't. But it's like, give the same heat to Max or
Yeah.
come and do an apology tour to everybody else, because they were savage
Yeah,
with
they
Lawson,
need to
dude.
apologize to Lawson. And I don't
They
like
were
the guy either.
savage.
They need to
I don't
apologize
like
to
Lawson,
They
but
need
that
to
was
apologize
fucked.
to Yuki. They need to apologize to Gasly and Albon, because that's where it started. People are thinking about it from Checo, but
From
it started
Checo, but
with
it
Gasly.
started before
Gasly
that.
got half
Yeah.
the season too. Like, they were brutal with Gasly.
Yeah.
And then they gave Albon a whole season, and it sucked. The whole season
Yeah.
sucked for him. I mean, Checo passed him in the race that Checo wins.
In the rate, yeah. Yeah.
You know, like in a supposedly lesser car, because it's not the car. Albon just sucks. What?
Yeah, Albon sucks, apparently.
Track record. Like Checo said it in his interview. Horner tells him, "Hey, we brought you here. Like, we want to race. If we could, we would just race one car.
Yeah,
But we
like,
have
we
to
don't
race
want,
two.
we don't need you. We don't really want you either. But we have to have two
We
cars,
have
so
to
you're
have
here.
Two cars, and you're the guy that showed the most progress throughout the last season.
Yeah.
And you won a car with a midfield team, and you got
So we
Racing
wanna see
Point
what you
into
got.
4th place in the constructors. So we're gonna give you a shot, but we don't. We have to race two cars, but we would likely just want to race one.
I
Like,
will
when the
say
team tells
this-
you shit like that, you know it's not the drivers.
Yeah.
You know that they're tailoring that car to the guy that they want to win with that
Well,
car.
they told him that too in that same interview that he did. I can't remember what the podcast is. I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to not give credit to where credit's due, right? But I can't remember what podcast.
And the
it was.
podcast's in Spanish, so like for the
Yeah.
Spanish speakers out there, go check it out. He leaves nothing on the table. He tells you exactly everything. I think his NDA is probably done for, and that's why he's actually talking about it. And he couldn't talk about it while he was with the team because these drivers sign NDAs. So
I think it's called Cracks Podcasts.
yeah,
That says, yeah, it's Sergio Checo Perez, 2026 interview on Cracks Podcast.
yeah.
It's on YouTube and everything. If you guys want to go check that out, it's a great interview. It gets you a ton of inside information
Of how
because
Red
there's-
Bull works.
of how Red Bull operated
Yeah.
with Horner. It could be different now, but it's not looking like it really is that much.
No.
So, maybe they won't fire someone after one race like they did, to Lawson. I don't like Lawson, but that was fucked. You can't prove yourself in one race, bro. Like, there's
Yeah.
in a car you've not never, but like, you don't have time in this car, and now all of a sudden you got to go.
Would it have changed
Compete with
anything?
Max?
No, it wouldn't have changed anything.
No.
But they should have gave him the whole season.
They should have given him a season. And if I was a driver like Lindblad or any of those guys that are in the junior team right now, that could be potentially getting scoped out to move up or whatever. And Hadjar, I feel bad for Hadjar because I think Hadjar is one of the ones who should have. I hope they put in his contract, you have to give me a full season before you just say I'm not shit.
Yeah.
And every driver that goes to Red Bull, advice from a nobody that doesn't drive, I would put it in my contract. Like, if you want me to come race for you guys,
Yeah, put in that clause.
I need a clause that says I get a full season or you pay me completely and you find me another seat somewhere where
Yeah.
I'm still driving.
I don't really care, like, to tell the drivers anything. Like, to be honest, like, if you go to Red Bull, you should know by now that you're risking your career.
Your whole career. And if it's the first team you go to, you are absolutely,
Yeah.
if you don't make it work somehow, if you don't pull a Checo 4 seasons,
I think
you're not coming back,
I think
dude.
Checo has an advantage as well, that the market in Mexico. I mean, Checo's a god in Mexico.
yeah.
And
huge.
he has huge sponsors. He's not daddy owned like Stroll,
But he
he
is sponsor
brings
owned. He brings money
money.
to the
He
teams.
brings
Yeah.
money. I mean, Cadillac, they know they have a huge market in Mexico to sell Cadillacs, and they know that Checo sells well, you know,
Hmm.
and he's a good driver too. Like he's a
He
good
sells.
driver.
I'm pretty sure that Checo sells more merch than Lewis even.
Oh yeah, he's
Like he sells more merch than anybody on that
um
grid.
when
I'm
he
pretty
was at
sure.
Red Bull, Checo's merchandise would sell out literally
Seconds.
seconds after, and
Yeah.
a week before Max's merch would sell out, Checo's was already sold out. Like,
And Max was a champ.
and Max was the champion. So like, that's another
Yeah.
reason why Checo's at Cadillac. Do you think there's a Mercedes Gate incident? Do you think Mercedes is not telling them everything about that engine or how to
I
use
th-
it the best?
yes, I think that Mercedes. This is racing, man. Like everyone's gonna get right on the line of whether something is legal or not. You're gonna be right on the damn gray in between the black and white. You know, like right
Mm-hmm.
or wrong. Can we do it or not? And um, I think for sure they figured out the engine fully before they sent it off to anyone who's running a Mercedes engine power unit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's like buying a Lego set with no instructions, I think. They're like, okay, here's all the parts, or here's the engine already built, but it's not built how we built it. It's just like, here's the block, and you figure it out. Or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think that they did something extra to theirs and got it really, really well and said, okay, we are going to give them the same engine, but not
So
exactly.
do you think it's a software gate then?
I think it's a
Like it's
software thing.
blocked?
I think so. And Lewis said it in his interview that he was at Mercedes for a very long time and he knows how they work. and he knows that there's a button on their
Yeah.
steering wheel that unlocks something in that car. And he said, particularly we see it in Q2. Q1, we're barely behind them. Q2, all of a sudden we're 0.8 behind. We're behind Russell every time. So he's like, I know that we need to find out whatever that is and put it in our car.
Here's something crazy, okay? I think that car is even faster than what it's been showing. I think they're holding it back
To not get it
to
to
avoid what's going to happen.
avoid, yeah. Oh,
I think they're holding
I didn't
it
even
back.
think about that. They're like, okay, we're gonna make it so we're a second faster, so we have a clear gap and we're good. Like we're not really risking
but we're
too
not
much.
risking it.
And then when the FIA votes, no, it's fine, it can stay. Turn that bitch all the way up in August.
Yeah.
And then it could be, and then they could just be like, oh, we got upgrades.
I think that they're
That's
holding
a
that back, and as
conspiracy
and
over
as
here.
the upgrades get better, air
Better.
quotes, better,
Yeah.
that car
better.
will magically get better, but I already think they're there. That car, I think, is
I don't
faster.
know, dude. That's a good conspiracy because I never thought about that.
I think it's
I'm
faster.
over here being naive, thinking that they're just telling us the truth.
No, I think
No,
it's
I-
faster. And
it
I think
could
Lewis knows that it's faster, which is why he keeps putting up the narrative of like, we need to go back to Maranello and we need to push more, and we need to push harder, and we need to develop more things. I think
Yeah.
that Mercedes is faster. I really think. I'm not gonna be surprised if in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 races more, they're
No,
They're
it
way-
won't be that
it's-
soon. If
it's-
it is faster, it's not going to be that soon.
well, some people are bringing upgrades to Japan. Some aren't, like Williams. They're not. They said they're still going to be struggling in Japan,
They should.
but they have a lot of weight to let go of. So their shit is weight. Same with Alpine. But I think that Mercedes is going to let the field do this, and then
just
they're
take
going to
off.
bring an upgrade and do this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's what's going to happen this year with Mercedes. If they,
So you think it's a Mercedes season?
I think it's a Mercedes
Through and
season
through.
and
You
through
think
until
Mercedes?
up until they do the compression tests, it's a Mercedes championship. Once they do the compression tests, and if the
Right,
FIA
but-
is like, oh well, you guys are like violating the stuff, but you need to change your shit, it's gonna be a Ferrari season.
But at that point, depending on how far it is before they do those tests, it could already be over.
Yeah.
If Mercedes
telling you
wins
that.
1-2 the whole time,
I
right?
was telling you that by the time they get
but-
to August, it could be over.
How many races happen from now to August?
There's 480 points, 81st place points without the fastest lap. That's how many
Okay.
are left. 480 points. So if you want to win a championship, you only need 260 more.
Oof.
So if one of those drivers gets 260 more points before, or close to like that,
If they win a 1-2 every single race, do you think that they would win the constructors at least by then? Possibly
Yeah.
even the drivers?
yeah, the constructors.
If it's the same, if Russell takes 1-2 all the way till August, Russell will win too, right?
Yeah.
You think? Unless
Ru-
Kimi comes back.
If Russell gets first every race from now on,
If they both get 1-2 and Russell's first each time and Kimi's second each time till August,
Mercedes gets constructors.
but the championship would still be up.
For
Or
them.
do you think he would
For
have
them.
enough of a gap
For them.
for the drivers?
Yeah, for the drivers, it'll still be up.
And if Lewis gets third every race, what are the odds he could come back in August and win first every time and win? I mean, Max did it with 100 points down.
That
Almost.
he would have
Almost.
to be 100 points down in August,
At least?
at least, to get first every race and win the championship. But he would have to be getting not just thirds. He needs to get seconds.